I want to meet them. And before that, he spoke to or approached through the President, General Bajwa, met him twice, tried to negotiate with him, even offered him extension for life. It is on record. Despite all that, he has not materially offered anything to the present government for a dialogue or for some sort of negotiations on that. I'll just add one thing to it. We are ready to talk for the sake of peace in our country, for sake of not for only the present government, but the coming generations, that we must have some sort of consensus on major issues which we are facing for last so many decades. We are not in favor of a transactional dialogue. We need something which is comprehensive, which covers everything. There are so many issues. One can debate on that and have perhaps a long debate on that. But in short, what I'm trying to say is that a comprehensive dialogue on the problems Pakistan is facing is always welcome. But transactional dialogue, which does not address the issues this nation is facing today, and perhaps the situation is getting worse by every passing day. So these issues, one must realize that these issues should be addressed as soon as possible.
Yes,
so a comprehensive dialogue, yes. A transactional dialogue, it will be a waste of time.
Minister Asif, Dean Hadid from National Public Radio. As you may be aware, Mr. Khan has made multiple interviews to Western media in particular to project his point of view of what's been happening in Pakistan. I'd love to just get your responses to some of the claims that he's made. First, he has claimed that the government is seeking to outlaw him, a claim that was echoed, to disqualify him, a claim that was echoed by Zalmay Khalilzad on Twitter.
Disqualify him?
To disqualify him politically.
Okay.
He also alleges that there's even attempts to kill him or plans to kill him. I would love to get your responses on that. And just on holding the federal elections, is there a plan to hold the federal elections on time? And my final question, bear with me, is are you concerned that the political tensions now could spiral into more extensive or more violent clashes in the coming weeks or months, based on the very videos that you have aired right now?
It's a bit lengthy question, you know.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Let's hope I can keep track of it. Violence, yes, there is every possibility that this violence can, escalate and get into an ugly situation. We are aware of that. That risk is always there, because Imran Khan is a desperate man. He has demonstrated the violence of the sort which we have witnessed in the last few weeks. This has never happened in Pakistan. Violence has taken place during the military regimes, during General Zia regime, and before that during Ayub Khan's regime. But political governments have never resorted to violence against their opponents. Yes, there are victimization and cases and imprisonment, but this sort of violence from an opposition party, organized violence against the state machinery. So this is something which is unprecedented in our history, despite the problems we have had over the last 75 years. But this can spiral into something obviously ugly, and but government has the power and the will to control any violence which is triggered by Imran Khan and his supporters. Coming to his allegation that IG Islamabad or IG Punjab or Chief Minister Punjab, they are conspiring to murder him. This whole thing is so scandalous. This allegation. He's just trying to create some sort of atmosphere where his followers are ready to believe anything he says. You know, it's like a cult. You know, the world has witnessed over decades and centuries where people have, the leaders have created cult and people have followed them blindly, believing everything they say. So this sort of cult following is here in Pakistan also these days, but this will fizzle out, and this allegation of conspiring to murder him, I think this is stretching a bit too far. The sort of lies he has been fabricating over the last 1 year, starting with Cypher. I'll again say that on one hand he's he was accusing General Bajwa of conspiring against him or aiding his opponents, and on the other hand he was offering him extension for life, and then accusing the United States of America of conspiring against him, taking even names, and now he's again flirting with the American government through lobbyists and approaching them for some sort of intervention or some sort of aid or help because they are being victimized, so-called victimization of PTI in Pakistan. So he'll tell you one thing today, and tomorrow he'll tell you something which is diagonally opposite, completely opposite, So his utterances are completely irrational. Perhaps his followers do believe whatever he says, but most of the people have lost track of what he has been saying over the last 1 year.
Voice of America. She had a third question, whether the government does plan to hold the national elections.
Obviously, national elections are due in October, and they will be held on time.
Now I will follow up on that question. They were due also on the 30th of April.
And there were no national elections, provincial elections.
Punjab provincial elections were due on 30th of April. Then
the CN has been taken by the Election Commission. They are, according to the Constitution, that is the body which is supposed to hold the elections and empowered to hold elections.
So that very order has been called into serious question. The IMF has rejected the claim that it has anything to do with holding of any constitutional practice in Pakistan, like holding of the Punjab elections, number one.
IMF?
Yeah.
No, I'm not aware of it.
They gave a press release. Because this is a factor mentioned in the election order, that because of the understanding with the IMF, the government is unable to provide funding for the elections. That's number one. Number two, the prevailing law and order situation was cited in the Election Commission order. And in that order, the briefing about the security was given to the Election Commission on February 8th. And the incident cited in that briefing happened a week later on February 16th, the Jafar Express bombing. So there are serious anomalies in this election order, and you're still defending it.
No, but let me, since February, in last 1 month or couple of months, the security situation has definitely deteriorated, We lost a senior army officer day before yesterday to terrorism. The terror incidents have increased. They have escalated over the last 2-3 months. So that's not something, the evidence is there. That's not something which is something of our imagination or something which we have concocted or invented, So security situation is there. I'm not aware of them, but definitely I'm aware of the fact that Ministry of Finance said that under the present circumstances, We are going through some very tough time, financially speaking, so we will not be able to provide funds for elections, which are, if you hold these elections now on 30th of April, and then again in October. So you are providing funds for the elections twice in a year. Secondly, the commitment which our army has at the moment, because of the internal and external threats, they said that deployment for almost 1 month. It takes about a month to deploy forces for elections on polling stations, and especially the static duty. They have to take over the polling stations as it happened in 2018. They manage the polling station. So that sort of duty, they showed their inability to man the polling stations. So these 3-4 reasons were stated by the Election Commission, and these reasons were given to them by the federal government. And based on these reasons, they have decided to postpone the elections till October, and they are given the new date, which coincides with the national elections, the federal elections.
G Sarkar from AKB and DW.
My question is regarding the letter Shri Mizari has written to the Human Rights Commission. The concern is in the initial, they were bringing up the cipher issue and all that, and they were against the intervention. But now they are themselves
seeking support from
the international organizations to intervene and resolve this issue. Where do you see this is taking our country to? This is the right approach? At first you were against their intervention, and now you are approaching them themselves?
You can add on to
this says in reference to the letter again. We do see maligning the image of Pakistan as far as the international forum is concerned. Pakistan is already in a very vulnerable stage, right? And we can't afford any such things. All the contradictory statements given by Mr. Khan in the past as well, they're not.
वफाकी वज़ीर दिफ़ा ख्वाजा आसिफ इस वक्त सहाफ़ियों के सवालों के जवाब दे रहे थे। उनका ये कहना था कि इलेक्शन मुलतवी करना इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ पाकिस्तान का फ़ैसला है।